Welcome, welcome, welcome to Social Work Sunday Tea. It is. My name is Shakia. My name is Shakia Houston. It's a wonderful day to be alive and well. It's August 29th, 2021. Listen, I'm so excited for today. Make sure that you like, subscribe, share. We got some juicy stuff to talk about. It's adult talk today. Some people may be uncomfortable. It's okay, just log off or share to your platform and come back on and be a part later on. So yeah, we have a very special guest. If you'd like to introduce yourself, Miss Kimberly.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kimberly Thomas. I'm a licensed professional counselor. I am licensed in the state of Virginia, and based on the topic, y'all, I provide sex therapy services. My practice is transformation space therapeutic services, so I provide services virtually to everybody, not only in the Northern Virginia area where I live, but to all different parts of the state. So, hi, welcome.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much for being a part of Social Work.
Absolutely.
What made you get into that arena? What made you look? I scoped you out on Instagram. That's how we met, and I was
Right.
like, hey, I'm just strolling. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't need that. So what made you get into this arena of sex?
So honestly, conversations with friends, right?
Okay.
Like when you were doing your intro, I was like, I wanted to say, but stick around. I know it may feel uncomfortable, but stick around. You may learn something,
Absolutely.
something that you may not have known, something that you've known, that's something that you wanted to share. But anyway, so conversation with friends actually got me into the area of sex therapy.
Okay.
And I realized that my experience with talking about sex was very similar to those that I've met along the way of developing relationships with people. It wasn't like a dinner table discussion. It was more so don't have sex until you're, married or grown or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, so how do I navigate this world now? And I think that we take for granted the impact that sex plays on our life.
It does.
Or that our health plays on our sex, right?
Yeah.
And I realized that in the Black and Brown community, we weren't having these discussions. And it was a lot of people that were out here suffering in silence, whether they weren't happy with their sex lives, they're uncomfortable during sex, having sex conversations were uncomfortable,
Yeah.
they're in pain during sex.
Yeah.
So I think that for me, I just wanted to become a resource and a safe place for people to be able to have these conversations and to feel empowered when they leave their sessions.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you have a lot of couples? I'm all nosy. I'm all in your business.
Good
topic. Yeah.
I do have couples actually,
Okay.
which it makes me happy to see that couples are coming because it's not just one part of, the unit that's like, we have issues. It's like, we're going to come together and we're going to address our issues as one, as opposed to it's me and you, and you have your issue, but we're not talking about it. No, they're coming together and I love to see it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I got to ask the question. Like, I know the topic is let's talk sex and our mental health. Like, why do people fear? And that's one of the questions. Why do people fear talking about sex? What is the biggest fear of it?
I think it's just a lot of shame, guilt wrapped into sex. I think there's just fear in general of having those intimate conversations. Of saying like, maybe I'm not fulfilled sexually. How do you go to your partner of 10 years saying like, I want to try something new, or, this isn't working for me. You don't want someone else to feel uncomfortable. So people tend to just kind of keep it to themselves. So I think, just the shame and the guilt and just the uncomfortableness about sex is like the biggest hurdle of starting those conversations.
Yeah, I think more so like you said, going to your partner, it's like, oh, like if the sex is boring, you don't want to and they may be offended by what you say.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. I think more so having those candid conversations definitely plays a big role. And are people more receptive of while in therapy? Are they receptive like as far as hearing their partner out, and actually like you know, because a lot of people get offended. Married couples, they get, well, I was married before, so it's like in that facet of my life, and I was just like, I don't like that. Like, because the older you get, you know, stuff changes. You know, certain things as far as, you know, what you like, what you don't like. You know, I don't do that. No, I don't think I like that. So it's like, hey, hello, everybody. Everybody tuning in. Hey, everybody. Yeah. Make sure if you have any questions, you know,
yes,
comments, hey, put it in the box. So yeah, but like, are they more, you know, receptive of their partners saying these things?
So far I've seen with the couples that I've been working with, they've been very receptive, which is good. You know, everybody's coming in with an open mind and, you know, just willing to talk about and have those awkward discussions, but in a place where it's safe, it's contained, and, you know, the conversation is equally shared, right? As opposed to just feeling like you have somebody who just has a laundry list of things that just aren't right. Is being facilitated in a way where it's healthy.
Right.
So when it comes to working with couples, I think the best part is that coming in open and being receptive to whatever your partner is saying will definitely take or has taken people a long way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's awesome. Look, I have to ask, what are some of the benefits of sex? You know, gotta correlate everything with the mental health. What are the benefits? Just educate us on that. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are a lot of benefits. Physical, right?
Right.
Sex, depending on what kind of sex you have, it's cardio. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, so it's good for the heart. Let's just start there, right? Sex is actually good for your immune system.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. And then of course, you know, it's good for your mental health. We release all of these hormones when we're having sex. And when especially if you get to a place of orgasming during sex, it puts you on a high. It improves your mood, right?
Yeah.
So sex not only is beneficial for you in the moment, it's beneficial for you later on.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? And now some of the questions. Well, the question does sex affect your mood?
Absolutely.
In what way? Yeah, let us elaborate on how it affects our mood, because I know one thing for me, you know, like I have an attitude, and well, you know, I might have an attitude, and then when that takes place, I'm good, peace on earth. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, and you
transparent, like my whole attitude changed, like can't nothing mess up my day. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, I hear you, but I don't hear you. You know, people
exactly.
I don't want to hear that. So yeah, but like, explain to us how, you know, it's beneficial to.
Yeah, so like I said, when we release these hormones during sex is, you know, for some people it's emotional, right? So it can bring you closer to your partner. So it improves your relationship in that way. When we release the oxytocins and all of these hormones, it feels good. We can ride that wave. That's why sometimes, like you mentioned, having sex beforehand, you may be not in the best mood, but afterwards you are feeling good. You're feeling lighter. You can actually think clearer after orgasms. So all of the benefits are there as far as like improving your mood, right? So that's why sex is encouraged. And not only sex with a partner, but masturbation. Masturbation is known to have some of those same benefits to improve your mood.
Yeah, definitely. So what are so sex toys, they're beneficial.
Right.
I read an article that said you can like desensitize your, you know, your aura. You know, I don't know. Like, what do you think? Like, what is your?
I believe that sex toys cannot desensitize, right?
Okay.
Now, I do believe that if you use sex toys on a regular, depending upon the intensity of your sex toy, right? You may feel like a little feeling after you're done, wherever you may used it, right? But I truly believe that sex toys do not desensitize anything. If anything, it enhances right? You can bring sex toys not only by yourself, but into the bedroom with your partner.
Right.
There is no gender on a sex toy just because it is labeled or is advertised as like for someone who has a vulva. That does not mean that a man can't use it.
Okay.
And vice versa.
Okay.
So sex toys definitely enhance your sexual experience. It does not take away. I know some people are like, I don't need a sex toy if I got my man or if I got my woman. No, and that's great, right? That's great.
You need a little extra here and there.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. A little extra. Add a little razzle dazzle in there.
Yeah, but like a lot of people like, oh, you know, and I wanted to talk about this because it does play a part of your mental health. And I know like all the Christians, all the church folk, like, but everybody has sex. Let's get that. Like, quit playing. Like, y'all get down, y'all
do what you do.
Somebody beat it up. So cut it out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's natural. That's how we all got here. So it's like, stop acting like, you know, we're holding anything down and, you know, clutch my pearls. No, that's not what this is. Like, you know, sex is sex, you know. And what about people that are not having sex, like on the regular? They always grumpy. And I know this from experience. Like people that ain't getting none or not doing anything, they're grumpy. They're depressed, and I want to lead into that. Does the lack of sex causes depression?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say the lack of sex, because there's a lot of people who choose not to have sex, right? And they're able to live happy, healthy lives, and you know, sex isn't the thing that is making them grumpy, or sex isn't the thing that's making them happy, right? I will say that if someone is desiring sex and they're wanting sex, and they may not be in a place of whether it's having a partner, or they may have performance issues that impact their ability to have the sex that they may be used to or the sex that they desire, that could cause some depression. And that's a case by case. Everybody is different. But I do know that for people who have sexual dysfunctions and, you know, they're struggling to please their partner, or just an inability to get an erection, right? To even masturbate can be, you know, depressing, and it can cause an increase in depression and anxiety as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad you said it. Oh, they got a question. How often should we have sex?
You know, that's always an interesting question. And let's remove comparison, right? Because everybody's sex drive, libido, all these things are different. So for somebody, there's people out there who's like, I need daily sex. Do your thing, right? Now, there's people out there that's cool with 2 or 3 times a month. That also works. I feel like, you know, looking at what you desire and what makes you happy sets the baseline for your sex life.
Right.
Getting into the comparison game will certainly have you like feeling inadequate or feeling like something's wrong with me. Maybe I want sex too much. No, if it makes you happy, do that, right? If it's not impacting your ability to live, laugh, learn, and love, right? Then you're good. If you're not consumed by sex while you're out at work and can't get it off your mind, and you're focused and you can't do all of these things, and you know, then you have a healthy sex life, right?
Right. Because I mean, everybody's different. You may have like 2-3 times out the week, or
exactly
1 time out the week. Good day.
Exactly.
It just all depends. But I mean, it's definitely beneficial. I think. Do you feel as though now that I'm 36, so I feel as though women in this prime, like 30s, 40s, do you feel as though it depends on people, right? I feel as though the sex drive is a little bit higher. They're like, okay, I need to go ahead and this is talking amongst friends, like, girl, I'll be like, just my statistics as far as just talking with my friends, my good girlfriends, and I'm like, you know, and everybody's sex drive is like going up versus, you know, back then it's like, okay, I ain't gotta have it, but now it's like I'm gonna need that.
Right.
about you. Yeah. So do you come in contact, or like have you discussed, or as far as like that scenario, like that ratio?
That, and statistics have shown that women typically have an increase in, sex drive as they age, and men have a decrease, right? That's why oftentimes you'll see older women with younger men,
Yes.
because younger men are able to keep up more, as opposed to some men. I ain't gonna say all men
Right.
within their age range, but some men may not be able to keep up with the woman's sex drive as he changes.
Yeah.
Because think about, most people, the average age of moms, granted that age is changing, but you're busy working, establishing a career, having children, going through pregnancy. That's a year out of a woman's life right there.
Yeah. Yes, definitely is.
Right. So when we think about and put those things in perspective, women are busy. Things like that are kind of slowing down. Your kids may be aging as you age. They're getting older. You're able to tap back into those things if you weren't tapped into them before, right?
Yes.
We know stress is a big issue when it comes to libido. If you're stressed, you're not going to want to have sex.
Yeah.
So if you're busy checking off all these things and you're focused on all of these things and your stress level is high, you're not going to want to have sex. But as you age, most people's stress level decreases, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
In some regard, but their libido may kick back up.
Okay. That's good. But I'm not, I ain't gonna put myself out there, but we got another question. We got to talk after this. But yeah, okay. So someone asked, how do you determine a sex addict from someone who just as a high sex drive? I ain't got my glasses on. I'm sorry.
Okay, I got you.
Okay. Sorry, I don't need to bring it back. My bad, y'all. I'm looking, you can't see. Okay.
So when we're gonna take the idea of sex addiction, right? This is just my personal opinion. Sex addiction is subjective, right? Yeah. Just like how often should you be having sex is subjective.
Right.
And it goes back to someone's ability to live, laugh, love, and learn. Are they consumed by sex? Is it a thing of they're becoming aggressive when they aren't having sex towards their partners, right? Is it a thing of they may be so into porn that's all they think about, that's what they watch all the time, that's what they expect sex to be, So I think that you have to be careful when we get into walking the line of sex addiction versus someone with a high sex drive. But when we start to look at that live, laugh, love, and learn, are they spending all of their money, right, on, sex workers? Are they unable to pay their bills because now it's at a point where they can't pay rent because they've given it all to whomever, right? The same things with like any other type of addiction, when it comes to shopping addiction, when it comes to gambling. Right. So that's how I define the line. And, personally and professionally, let's look at how it's impacting your life.
Yeah.
Are you making it to work, or are you spending all of your time trying to have sex?
Right.
And oftentimes it's not the sex, there's another root cause as to why all of these things are happening.
Yeah. That's good. That's real good. I really never thought of it that way because that's not my arena. So someone says sex is a stress reliever.
Yes, absolutely. Sex is a stress reliever. I tell people who feel like masturbation is a coping skill, cool, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not telling you to be at the local Barnes and Noble and you feel stressed and that's what you choose to do. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
What I'm saying is, in a healthy place, in a safe place, sex is definitely a stress reliever. It can be a coping skill for a lot of people.
Yeah. I think okay, I got a question. So then this is off my head. So what if you have a partner that doesn't really want to have sex? They don't want to have sex, and your partner do want to have sex, but they know that you're not in the mood to that want to, and it's like, why even bother?
Right.
So what do you do in that predicament, in that situation? What do you do in that type of, because I don't want nobody telling me no, especially if we're not doing it on the regular. Like, hold on now.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that it all goes back to communication, right?
Yeah.
Talking about,
yeah,
let's have a discussion about what is the barrier for you with having sex. Is it something physiological that you don't want to have sex? Is it something psychological? Or is it something within our relationship?
Yeah.
Again, if we're stressed, if things aren't right within our relationship, it makes it hard to be intimate with someone, right?
Yeah.
If you've said 20 million times, can you help me? Can you do this? Can you do that? And you're not receiving what you need from your partner, it makes it difficult to be intimate.
Yeah.
So let's look at that.
Yeah.
If that's or if they're saying a relationship is good, okay, well, let's schedule a physical, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that hypertension and high cholesterol and all of these things, diabetes, impacts our sex life. Having diabetes can definitely impact your vaginal lubrication, right? A lot of medications that people take to address their health issues can impact their libido.
Mm.
If someone is on, an antidepressant, it can impact their libido.
Mm.
So it's probably more than to what meets the eye, right? Then something else is happening. So instead of going to a place of frustration and being accusatory or any of these things, have a discussion.
Yeah.
Which I know it can be awkward, right?
Yeah.
But talk about what's happening to address the issue, because it's you and your partner versus the issue, not you pointing the blame at them for something that they need to fix.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. And I'm glad you spoke on intimacy. Like, what is intimacy? So everybody can really get a real clear definition of what does that mean?
Intimacy is the closeness and the connection that you have with somebody, and it's not just on a physical level. It can be on a spiritual level, an emotional level, a mental level. All of these things play a part into intimacy. When people think about it, they just think of sex, right? And I tell people, separate the two. Sex, intimacy, two separate things. Intimacy can be sitting on the couch, cuddling, watching your favorite show, binging a show, catching up on something. It could be you on your phone doing something, but I'm over here reading my book, but we're spending that time together, right? It can be having a discussion about how was your day? Just sitting down, having an uninterrupted discussion, talking about goals, what it is that you want to accomplish, what do you want to accomplish within your relationship. So intimacy goes further than just the physical part.
Yeah, that's good. So it's more, how does that correlate with our mental health? I mean, like connecting the dots together.
Right. So when it comes to intimacy, again, it goes back to those hormones that are, released when we're spending quality time with people, when we're engaged and when we're locked in. When you have a connection with somebody and, it's something that you've been building for a while, it feels good, right? It feels comfortable. It feels right. And you're able to think clear, right? You're able to feel like you're in a safe space. So that allows you to go to a place of being vulnerable.
Yeah.
All of those things impact your relationship, and then it will in turn impact your sex life.
Yeah, definitely. We had a question. Don't chew me out, because I'm gonna be close to the I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, do you think it's possible to have a healthy relationship with someone who wants to practice pornography? If you agree or disagree with it yourself. Am I saying it right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You said practice pornography?
No. Let me see if you see the questions. Let me get my glasses. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all.
She tried to be cute, y'all, and put her
I'm trying to be cute, y'all. I can't see nothing.
Yes, she can't see.
Okay. All right. I'm back. I'm back. All right. Do you think it's possible to have a healthy relationship with someone who wants to practice? Can you see these? Let me see.
I can't see that one. I could see the other one.
Oh, a monogamous relationship. Yeah. Who wants to practice? I guess you guys being together. Someone want to practice it.
So do they want to practice polygamy or do they want to practice
polygamy? Yeah, there we go.
Okay. It's about communication and setting some healthy boundaries. Yes, I can see
there we go.
Okay. Oh, you are right.
Yeah.
I think it's possible. I think it's important for you, if the other person is the person who wants to practice polygamy, to be open and honest with yourself, right?
Yeah.
Understanding what that means for you, what that means for your relationship. Are you prepared for that?
Yeah.
And sometimes, sexual desires change between two people, and you may have to make a decision as to whether you want to be with this person on an intimate level, right? Because the last thing you want to do is to go into something like that, because that's a big commitment. Knowing that your partner may be out here engaging with somebody, and it may not necessarily be on a physical level, it could be on an emotional level, right? And you aren't comfortable with it. That's going to create a level of resentment because you may have taken on more than you can tolerate. So be honest with yourself, right? And if you're saying, yes, this is something that I'm willing to do, then you have to think about what that means for you and what that means for your relationship. And setting healthy boundaries. It's so important to talk about your expectations, have that negotiation with your partner, because you don't want to go in with no quote unquote rules or boundaries or expectations, and now you just kind of winging it.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, you kind of hit a situation that feels uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
So explore what that means, explore what that looks like.
That's good. Patrice, I hope I got it. I'm sorry, I was all over the place. I can read, y'all, I promise. So yeah, but I think that's a good conversation as far as two people want to actually do that. How does casual sex affects our mental health?
When it comes to casual sex, same thing. We go into casual sex and it's cool, I can do this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get my feelings involved. I'm good. And the next thing you know, you wrapped up in your feelings. You done got all emotional, and it was something that you wasn't prepared for.
Yeah.
I've had conversations about this with friends and family. Some people, it works for them. Being able to separate the two of this is just casual sex for me. I hit them up. We may have, small chit chat, but we know what it is. And then some people who are like, after we have sex 2 or 3 times, we go together. Like, that's just it at that point. And that's okay.
Yeah, especially if it's good. Like, you be like, hold on, wait a minute now. You can't be
right
else now. I'm gonna have a whole attitude about it.
Exactly. I'm not trying to share.
Yeah, like I definitely. And then, then that's when you kind of like disconnect, because the guy like, hey, this is what this supposed to be like. Because because guys can disconnect. Like,
not all of them.
Not all.
A lot of them can.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Not all. Okay, we say not all, but it's a small, as far as portion of men that disconnect. Like, hey, this is what this is, and that's it. That's all. But how does it pretty much you become the getting your feelings. I mean, I had that happen. Oh, we go together. Wait a minute, like no.
Right.
And it's a constant thing. And I was like, now because I'm older, it's like I don't want that. I want to be with one person. That's it. I know where you get, what you're doing, hopefully, So
Right.
it's like having that conversation. Like, I just don't want to, I don't want to share. Maybe I'm just selfish or whatever, but I'm just at that place in my life. Like, I don't want to share.
Right.
That's where I'm at. Yeah.
Exactly.
Definitely.
And you were able to acknowledge like that may have worked for me in the past, but it does not work for me now. So at this point in my life, I prefer something that's more, monogamous, where it's strictly me and you.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm not messing with anybody else. You're not messing with anybody else. We're in a relationship, whatever you define what that looks like for you. But that was right there was just a good example of it's okay for your ideas and your desires to change as you change and grow as well.
Absolutely.
What worked for you in the past may not work for you anymore. And that's perfectly fine. You have that right to change your perspective on things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that 9 times out of 10, we have to be honest with ourselves, right? And be like, okay, this is what I want. This is not what I want. And so I think just the older I get, the more, in tune that I am with myself. And I'm like, okay, Shakia, that's not gonna work. Or okay, that's gonna work, and I think whoever you're intimate with, or you're having this relations with, they need to have that clear boundaries and understanding as well. Especially, coming from a place where like I can't handle that, especially, I mean, if it's, we're saying that sex is a stress reliever, and you get with this person, it has to be for me, it has to be more mental first, then it becomes physical. Because if you can't spark an intellect with me, and it's like, no, I don't think I want to. Like,
exactly.
I don't want to explore that. Like, I just don't connect. But once that take place, of course, to be intimate. But I think that, and especially if, got good conversation, you start to like this person, like, okay, more and more conversations, start to like this person, then bam, you have sex, and then do it again and do it again. And then it's like, and some, do you feel as though some sexual relationships turn into relationships?
Absolutely. It can definitely happen. Just like you said, right? You meet somebody, good conversation, good energy, y'all vibing, the sex is good. It may start as one thing, but it's okay for the relationship to evolve into something else.
Absolutely.
It's just important for both parties to be on the same page about, that evolution, because you may be thinking, oh, well, things may be a little different, or you may have feelings and this person may not have any feelings back. So when this person says, I'm cool with it the way it is, then you have to make a decision. Do I continue on having these great conversations and sex with this person knowing that it's not going to be anything else? Or do I just go ahead and I step away? And that's tough, because if people are checking out a lot of those boxes, it may feel right. Except y'all not on the same page as to what y'all want.
We got another question, Patrice. Is it a preference of being dominated during sex associated with something mental traumas?
No.
Okay.
That is a definitely an idea that's been associated with, especially when you get into, like you mentioned, being dominated, BDSM, maybe you like pain during sex or whatever the case may be. No, that is not the case. I think it's unfair to automatically, and I'm not talking about you, Patrice, because this is the idea that a lot of people have. I think it's unfair to just assume that people who like those type of power dynamics during sex must have some type of sexual trauma or trauma in general. It's just an idea that we really got to work towards, providing that education, relinquishing that idea. Maybe people just like that, right?
Yeah, like 50 Shades of Grey.
Right. Exactly. And even being dominated during sex, right? You have all the power, because you can decide what y'all gonna do during that sexual session, or what's not gonna happen, what is gonna happen. So really you control a lot of the power. And that right there just negates the idea of, being dominated is associated with sexual trauma or trauma in general.
Yeah, that's good. Patrice, you get that? So it's okay. It's all about preference,
Right.
You like to be choked and tied up and all that good
Yeah.
stuff. In between, if it's good for you, look, it's good for you.
Exactly.
It's just everybody have a preference. So I want to talk about orgasms. So as far as women and having an orgasm, what is the percentage of women actually having an orgasm and not having an orgasm? Because I mean, you can have sex and not have an orgasm at all.
Right.
But like, what is the percentage rate and things like that?
I don't know the exact number, but I believe it's right around 75 to 78% of women do not have an orgasm via penetration.
Okay.
So, we got to educate these men out here because orgasms happen for most women with a combination of things, right? So knowing what you like,
right,
communicating that to your partner, because sex isn't one size fits all, right? What you did with your last partner may not work for your current partner.
Absolutely.
So knowing what works for you, talking about how you reach orgasms, what you need, and then it's important to know that an orgasm may not happen every time.
Right.
I think that when we start to focus on orgasming, we get lost, and then we're focusing on that performance as opposed to the pleasure piece of sex.
Yeah.
So don't focus on the orgasm. Don't focus on busting out all the tricks, right? Focus on what your partner likes, how it feels to them, and how you feel while you're doing it. Yeah. That's the most important part.
Yeah, definitely. What if you have a partner who's like, well, I know what I'm doing, but you're trying to relay, this is what I like, but they don't want to listen to, what you like, and they want to do, their way. And it's kind of selfish too, in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you do in that situation?
Take control. Maybe get into the habit of showing them what it is you like, right? Yeah. Most people are defensive when you tell them that something about whatever they did was not good enough, because it's like, I don't want to just say men, because some women are like this too.
Yeah.
They take pride in themselves in the bedroom and what they can do and all these things. But just continue to have those conversations, right?
Yeah.
Aftercare is just as important, as sex, because aftercare is when you sit down, you talk about how was sex for you, right? And you can do that while cuddling. You can do that while just, chilling. You may be wanting to do that over a snack. You may have worked up an appetite, but just talk about how was sex for you. Is there anything that I can do differently, right? Have those open discussions. Keep having them if they're not receptive, right? Because at some point they're going to realize that this isn't just a one and done discussion. This is something that you're constantly bringing up.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think, and some people are more so set in their ways when it comes to, just doing it this way. And it's like, okay, you sit down and they get offended. Like you said, they get offended, and that's not what I like. You know what I'm saying? You continue to keep doing it. So it's like, I don't even want to do it. That's why they come like, cut it off. I don't want nothing. Don't ask me for nothing.
Right. It can make it difficult to want to continue to have sex with someone who is not listening to you when you talk about what it is that you like and what you don't like.
Yeah. Okay. What advice do you have for someone whose partner has been institutionalized for a long period of time?
I have a lot of follow-up questions as I read that question, so you may have to come on back to the discussion, Patrice, because I don't want to assume that what you're saying is someone has been incarcerated for a long time. So I just want to make sure that I'm clear about the type of setting in which this person has, been in for a long time, and is there a specific issue that you feel like has been happening that you're trying to ask a question about?
So how long they been incarcerated, Trace?
Right. Are you saying incarcerated when you say institutionalized? Because I don't want to make an assumption, is what I'm saying too.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question though. Like, I don't know. But yeah,
I think as we wait,
yeah.
I think it's important to really get back to that communication, right?
Okay.
I'm not sure if they've been.
Oh yeah,
Catch up. Oh, okay. So, girl, what you saying is he wearing you out? That's what it sounds like. That's what I hear you saying. Is this man is wearing you out? Okay. So, and be honest. You got to be honest, because the last thing you want to do is create or develop resentment of, here we go again. I'm tired. This man has been doing X, Y, and Z. This is day number whatever. He feel like he need to catch up for lost time. Maybe talk about other ways, right, that you guys can have sex. Explore different things. Yeah. You know, maybe honestly just had a discussion. And I know it's going to be awkward. And I know for him it's like, I haven't been with a woman. I don't know what he was doing in there as far as, you know, being with women, whatever the case may be. I don't know him. But yeah, you're going to have to be honest and say, this may be too much for me right now. Can we slow it down? Can it look like this? Come to a place of compromising. Negotiating about sex is not uncommon in relationships. Have those discussions, because it's going to get to a point where you're going to start avoiding him when it comes to sex because you're worn out. That's what it sounds like I'm getting from what you said.
The first couple of, when he fresh out, you're gonna have to give it up. So
you think, and you know, he's going to want that, right?
Yeah. Oh, do you ever think he'll ever catch up? Okay.
I think he's gonna have to change his mindset, because the reality is, how you gonna make up for 20 years of lost sex, right?
Right. Yeah.
There's no way. It's not like he sat back and counted and said, well, I want to have sex 3 times a week, and now I got to equate this to catching up. He's going to have to adjust his mindset. And honestly, I'm not sure if he's freshly, you know, back in the community, but that's going to get old to him too, right? Yeah. And it's not saying that you're doing anything wrong, but if he's out, this is something new, he's getting back in the groove of things, he's going to desire it, right? Yeah. But eventually, I think it will slow down. But if you get to a place where you can't take a significant amount of sex anymore, say that. Yeah. That's okay. Yeah. Because if he truly cares about you and he wants to be in a relationship with you, he would hear you out. And you guys can talk about it, compromise, negotiate, however you want to frame it.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. That's awesome. Yeah, I like that. But because if you fresh out, you're going to, yeah, I had a conversation, but you're going to have to take care of the man. That's just me, you know. But yeah, so I got another question. What are 5 ways to increase your confidence in the bedroom?
Know what you like, right? Okay. And know what you're good at. Be honest with yourself. If you know you may need to step it up in this area, but you got this down pat, you may not have mega knees, you know, all of these things. Know what works for you. Know your strengths, right? Know your weaknesses. Play those things up. You know, focus on what makes you feel sexy and confident. If that's pulling out some lingerie, pull it out. Wear it, right? If it means setting the mood, do these things. If you know you have your favorite fragrance that you like or your partner likes, all of those things add to confidence in the bedroom. And again, focus on that pleasure as opposed to the performance. I know it can be a little anxious when you want to try something new. You're like, I don't know if they're gonna like it. Just remove that focus on getting it down pat. Know you're gonna mess up and you may feel silly, but it's okay. Just push through, have fun. Sex is supposed to be fun, right? It shouldn't feel stressful. It shouldn't feel overwhelming. Get to a place where sex is fun for you. And it doesn't have to necessarily look like sex on, television and these movies.
Right.
No. And it doesn't necessarily have to look like porn.
Right.
You define what it looks like for you within your relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. She it's not the amount of sex he wants to explore with multiple.
Oh. Okay. Got you.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, sounds like you may have to be honest with yourself in that situation, right? Is this something that you're happy with? Is this something that you're confident in, that your relationship can, sustain that? You can navigate that together? Is this something that this person is going to do on their own? Are you willing to take on all of that? What does it look like as far as sexual health? I'm big on sexual health now.
Yeah.
If you're incorporating other sexual partners, what does that mean for you, right? Hygiene.
Yeah.
And not just, your genital hygiene, oral hygiene is just as important, right? Yeah. So I think that really taking a step back and looking at what that means for you, your health and wealth, and what that would mean for your relationship is so important.
Yeah, definitely. This is some good information. I hope everybody enjoyed. If you have any questions, any other questions, while I have Miss Kimberly on Social Work Sunday Tea. Yeah, but I really, really it's definitely appreciated, and definitely it's a conversation that needs to be talked about. The benefits of sex and our mental health, how it definitely, plays a role in it.
Right.
And like you said, sex is supposed to be enjoyable. It's supposed to be fun, and you release endorsements, things like that. But I think that the conversation needs to be had, and not be uncomfortable about sex, because everybody has sex.
Everybody has sex. Absolutely.
Yeah, they have sex, and so it's like, oh, clutch your pearls, all this. No, stop it. Because I think a lot of people, oh, I don't need that, and I'm like, yeah, kind of. I mean, it's to each his own, but I know for me, it's like, it changed attitudes and get you together. But but for other people, like, oh, some people they feel as though they don't need sex, they don't want sex, and that's just my theory. That's my theory. So it's like, to each his own. But I think that it's a healthy conversation, regarding everything around sex, and yeah, everything around sex, because we don't talk about it.
Right.
I know growing up, my mom didn't talk about, because her mom didn't talk about it.
Right.
And so it's like, now, it's like you have to talk about these things, because, as far as like with HIV, STIs, things like that, yeah, I think it's just worth talking about. It has
Absolutely.
Yeah. So is there anything you want to add and educate and bless us with?
I'm gonna just end with, sex should be fun, right? It's important to think about and be open to extending yourself grace as we age, because our bodies change, right? And we may not be able to do the things that we could do 5, 6, 7 years ago, and that's okay, right? It's okay to roll with the punches. It's okay to look at, okay, maybe I have to try something new. You may have to step outside of your comfort zone and reach out to your medical doctor, reach out to a therapist, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Do not be shy about these things, because the last thing you want to do is to create feelings of shame and guilt for yourself, right? Society, the world, it beats us up every day.
Yeah.
Do not allow you to get into a space of doing that to yourself, right? So be gentle, be kind, extend yourself grace, and have fun, good sex. Like, if we're gonna do it, if you choose to have sex,
You might
make sure it's good and it's fun and it's fulfilling and it's pleasurable.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. How can everybody find you?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram at You Are Sexually Worthy. Also, if you're in Virginia and you're on right now and you're like, I could use a therapist, not necessarily a sex therapist. Or if you're in Virginia and you decide that you may want sex therapy services, you can check out my website at transformationspacets.com.
All righty. Thank you so much, Kimberly. I really
Absolutely. This was fun.
Yes. See, so we all family now. I be like, listen, we need to do another discussion. And
Absolutely. We didn't even touch on church and purity culture and all those things. So
yeah, you know what? Let's do a part 2 of that. Let's do a part
Absolutely.
2. Let's dive in. I don't want to, hold you long as my grandma. Oh, have her back. Somebody say have her back.
Yes.
Okay, we can talk about that. And I think more so, I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely need to do a part 2 of that.
We're doing a part 2. We're doing a part 2.
Do a part 2 of that. Yeah, definitely. Because yeah, I didn't even think about that because like oh Lord, don't you do that, don't you?
Right.
And they up then they be smashing. So it's like, come on now, y'all, cut it out.
Exactly.
That's a we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna touch bases on that. We're gonna talk and do a part 2. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I got my glasses on, put them on from now on. I can read, I can read, I promise. It's just, I be nervous. Some stuff don't come out right and whatever, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So yeah, but no, I want to say thank you so much, Kimberly, for getting on the show and educating us on, having a healthy sex life and connecting it to our mental health. It's greatly appreciated. It's for the culture. Everybody tune in. Wait, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I don't think I'm gonna be on next week because I have a adult prom. It's Friday.
Oh, exciting!
Yeah, we have an adult prom. It's for a nonprofit, Wyman. They're the organization. We're doing a fundraiser, and the proceeds go to them. So yeah, so I won't be on. I'm gonna be tired. So yeah,
rest yourself.
I'm gonna have to rest myself because I ain't as young as I used to be. No, I'm just playing. But no, like it's definitely everybody that bought a ticket. Thank you. Inbox me. I may have some tickets for you. I know I gave a due date. But I know how us people will be.
I know.
Okay, I'm gonna come, and then it's like okay, then they come. But yeah, so just make sure. Well, I'll probably check in and do something. But Kimberly, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's an honor. It's a privilege. And everybody, you guys have a great rest of this Sunday and have a great productive week. All right. Love you guys.